Hello everyone, my name is Fernand Saul, and today we will be talking about environmental management. So what is environmental management? Environmental management is the strategies and actions used to protect natural resources and minimize impact. So by strategies and action, it's referring to us humans kasi yung mga action natin is may impact siya sa environment. So it's not limited to pollution, kasama dito yung environmental degradation. So, tayong humans, para ma-manage to, we have to use of laws and regulations to guide behavior and ensure protection. So, dito po mapasok yung mga batas na dapat sundin and yung mga violations naman and penalties when hindi mo sila sinunod. So, these are structured and implemented in environmental management. So, hindi to basta-basta ini-implement yung mga batas na to. They need to be structured, well-coordinated, and implemented para mapangalagaan at masabing effective sila. So next is, meron tayong tinatawag na command and control or what I like to call yung ating regulatory approach. Ano ba to? So, hatiin muna natin siya sa command. Ang command, ito ay yung paggagawa ng mga batas at mga strict standards na dapat nating sundin. And control naman is ang pag-enforce sa mga said standard na to. Dito na pumapasok yung mga fines, mga violations, and kung ano ba yung mga nararapat na gawin sa mga nanlalabag. So, next is meron tayong tinatawag na standard setting. Doon nga sa command part, dapat meron tayong standard. We set standards, mga allowable levels ng pollution, and etc. And we need to monitor those as well. May lalagpas ba or may lumalabag ba? And next is yung enforcement. And again, dito na pumapasok yung ating mga violators. May mga binabayaran silang fine, community service, etc. And then, ito na yung mga different standards na meron tayo. Meron tayong environmental quality, kalidad ng lugar. So let us say when you're trying to mitigate yung dumi, kalat sa inyong lugar, meron tayong standard para doon. Sabihin natin yung standard natin, dapat bawat sulok 3 plastic lang ng candy ang pwede. Mga ganong standard. Pero example lang yan. Next is yung ating emission and discharge. Sa emission and discharge naman, dito na pumapasok yung mga discharge ng sasakyan, ng mga publika, yung mga kanilang pollutants na nilalabas. And lastly, technology-based, meron tayong mga trabaho na dapat meron tayong specific technology na ginagamit para ma-mitigate ang damage sa environment. Okay? Ayun yung mga different standards. And now, punta tayo sa rules ng government. Ano nga ba ang role ng government? Sila ang gumagawa ng mga policies kasi sila yung overseer natin. And then, next, meron tayong mga agency na dapat nakikipag-coordinate sa government regarding said policies. And next, itong mga agencies na to, dapat nasusupervise din siya ng government kasi baka mamaya yung agency na yun, sila ay yung lumalabag. And then, bakit itong tatlo is sa government? Kasi sila ang dapat main authority. Sila ang nasusunod. So, ito yung pinaka-basic flow ng government when creating the command and control laws or regulation. Una, gagawin nila yung rule. Yung bill, gawin nila yung law. Next is, dapat ma-implement siya. Now, once implemented, dapat siya ay nasusunod. Kasi, kapag hindi siya nasunod, on the implementation, meron tayong compliance checking. So, kasama dito is yung mga publika na merong mga matataas na emission rates, dapat chine-check sila either monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, semi-annual, or annual. Next is enforcement. Para dun sa mga lumalabag, dapat meron silang mga fines, meron silang mga penalties kapag sila ay nag-violate ng mga said rules dun sa number 1. Okay, dito naman tayo sa general application. Ano ba tong mga batas na tong sinasabi natin dito? Isa dito, Republic Act number 8749 or what is commonly known as Air Pollution Control. So, itong Air Pollution Control, nagsaset siya ng limit sa mga industry factories at sa mga sasakyan na ano ba yung allowable na pollutants na kanilang nire-release. Kagaya sa sasakyan, meron tayong mga carbon emission testing kapag tayo ay nagpaparehistro. And next, meron tayong Republic Act number 9275 or Water Pollution Control. Ito naman is in-enforce para maprotektahan ang mga bodies of water from pollution, gaya na sa mga nilalabas ng mga pabrika or ng mga agricultural or any domestic sources. And next, meron tayo dito ang Republic Act number 9003 or what is commonly known as Waste Management Act. Ito naman is yung nagbibigay ng mga guidelines sa mga proper waste segregation, collection, at disposal. And hindi nakalagay dito kasi under siya ng Republic Act 9003 or kasanggi siya ng 9003 is yung Republic Act number 6969 or Disposal of Hazardous Substances. Ito naman ay yung paggamit or pagdidispose ng mga toxic at hazardous waste para ma-prevent yung risk niya sa human health and the environment. Ito naman yung para sa mga hospital, kung paano nagdi-dispose ng mga tamang bote ng gamot, mga syringes na gamit. Yan. So, dito sa mga batas na to ng command and control, sila ay ina-apply dito sa Philippines para ma-set yung standard at ma-enforce yung compliance across different sectors. And next is itong tinatawag nating economic incentive approach. So, while yung command and control approach is effective and isa siyang setting ng clear rules and implementation ng laws, ito rin ay merong mga limitation. So, isa dun sa limitation na yun is itong economic incentive. Dahil sa mga challenges gaya ng mga pagde-develop ng environmental management strategies, isa nga ito dito, nagfo-focus sila sa pag-i-influence ng behavior ng mga resident, ng mga tao, ng mga business, ng mga pabrika through incentives. So, instead of imposing rules, yung gawa ka ng gawa ng batas, itong approach naman is nag-encourage sa mga individual and industries na sumunod at i-reduce yung kanilang impact by offering rewards, by offering said incentives. And again, sa mga lumalabag naman, mag-i-impose dapat tayo ng cost based on their corresponding actions. So, through this approach, environmental protection becomes integrated with economic decision-making. Ngayon, para to better understand this, it is important then na we examine different economic tools to influence behavior. Ngayon, dito napapasok yung mga key mechanisms na economic incentive approach. Ito yung mga charges and fines, green taxes, deposit-refund schemes, information programs, tradable emission permits, and lastly is yung tinatawag nating mga subsidies. So, again, this is just an introduction for economic incentive. Other reporters will be reporting the said topics. Thank you.
So, good day everyone. I will be discussing the first part of the economic incentive approach, which are the charges and fines in environmental management under the economic incentive approach. So, charges and fines are economic tools used to regulate environmental behavior to ensure that individuals and businesses pay for the environmental impact of their activities. This follows the polluter pays principles where those who cause pollution are financially responsible. So, para mas madaling maintindihan kung paano nag-work ang charges and fines, titignan natin ang ilang common environmental compliance situations sa bawat example. May client na nagtatanong tungkol sa possible fees or penalties at may lawyer na nagpapaliwanag ng required permits, charges at consequences ng violations. Pinapakita pa nito kung ginagamit ang economic incentive approach para ma-encourage ang compliance through financial responsibility. So first, EIA, ECC. So client, nag-start na po kami ng project. Magkano po ang ECC? No, sasagot ng lawyer. For projects with environmental impact, required po ang Environmental Compliance Certificate or ECC before operations. The application fee is usually 5,070 pesos for a new ECC, 2,030 for amendments, and 1,030 for minor amendments. These are compliance costs para ma-approve ang project ninyo. Kapag nag-operate kayo without ECC, pwede kayong ma-penalize ng hanggang 50,000. So next is air permit. Client, may machine po kami na naglalabas ng usok. Magkano po ang permit? Sasagot ni lawyer is, kung may air emissions po ang equipment ninyo, required ang permit to operate. The basic charges include 600 filing fee, 30 documentary stamp tax, and 30 PD 1856 fee, so around 640 agad. Additional permit fees will depend sa type at capacity ng equipment ninyo. These are standard compliance costs para sa mga ma-regulate ang air pollutions. So next is wastewater permit. May wastewater po ang operation namin. Magkano po ang babayaran? Sasagot ni lawyer, for wastewater discharge, kailangan ninyo ng permit. The base application cost is 95 pesos, composed of 55 pesos filing fee, 10 pesos PD, 1856 fee, and 30 documentary stamp tax. After that, may additional permit fee depending sa discharge nyo. For example, 2,000 for zero discharge and 4 below 10 cubic meters per day, 2,000 without heavy metals, or 2,600 with heavy metals. Mas mataas ang bayad kapag mas mataas ang pollution level. So next is Clean Water Act. May water pollution violation po kami. Magkano po ang penalty? Sasagot ni lawyer, under the Clean Water Act, Republic Act 9275, violations are heavily penalized. The fine ranges from 10,000 pesos to 200,000 pesos per day of violation. Kapag gross violation, pwede itong umabot sa 500,000 to 3 million per day. Daily po ang computation nito sa habang tumatagal ang violation, lumalaki rin ang penalty. So next is solid waste. May violation po sa waste disposal. Magkano po? So, under the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act, penalties depend on the severity. Minor violation may cost 300 pesos to 1,000 pesos, while sub-operational violations are 1,000 pesos to 3,000 pesos. For serious violations, pwede itong umabot sa 500,000 pesos plus 5,000% to 10% and ng prior year net income. In some cases, especially facility-related violations, fines can range from 100,000 to 1 million. So next is hazardous waste. Paano po kung hazardous waste ang issue? So, under the Republic Act 6969, which regulates toxic and hazardous substances, may dalawang types of penalties. Una, 600 pesos to 4,000 pesos criminal fine, at pangalawa, 10,000 pesos to 50,000 administrative fine from DENR. Bukod pa doon, possible din ang imprisonment depending sa severity ng violation. So last is Clean Air Act. Paano naman po kung air emission standards ang nilabag namin? Sasagot ni lawyer, under the Clean Air Act, Republic Act 8749, if you exceed emission standards, the fine can go up to 100,000 pesos per day of violation. For other types of violations, the penalty ranges from 10,000 to 100,000. For serious or repeated violations, pwede pang magkaroon ng criminal liability. So, that's all for my report. Next reporter, please. Thank you.
Good day everyone. My name is Rodrigazo III Jaime. Waste minimization. So what is waste? Waste includes all items that people no longer have any use for, which they either intend to get rid of or have already discarded. Sa picture natin, may kita natin meron tayong e-waste, iron waste, house clean waste, and bio waste. Sa e-waste, includes dito yung mga old electronic devices like computer, cell phones, television, and batteries. These contain harmful materials, so they should be disposed properly. Next is yung iron waste. Iron waste includes scrap metals from all vehicles, machine, and construction materials. This can still be recycled and reused. Next natin yung house clean waste. House clean waste includes everyday garbage from our homes like plastic bags, packaging, and unwanted household items. Next naman natin is yung bio waste. Includes dito yung mga biodegradable materials like fruit peels, vegetables, and leftover foods. This can be turned into compost and used as fertilizer to reduce the bio waste. Slide 4 natin naman is what is minimization. Waste minimization means reducing the amount of waste we produce. It focuses on using resources efficiently, reusing materials, and recycling whenever possible. So, what is waste minimization? Waste minimization is the process of the policy of reducing the amount of waste produced by a person or society. Waste minimization has many benefits, like it reduces the cost of waste disposal, lower the cost of raw materials, help follow environmental laws, and reduces pollution and environmental damage. So let's move on to categories of biomedical waste. So types of biomedical waste, waste category natin. Category number 1, anatomical waste. Category number 2, animal waste. Number 3, microbiology and biotechnology waste. 4, waste sharps. 5, discarded medicine and cytotoxic drugs. 6, soil waste. 7, solid waste. 8, liquid waste. 9, incineration ash. And number 10, chemical waste. Important dito yung proper handling to prevent infections and protect people. Proper segregation and disposal are critical to prevent infection and environmental contamination. So what are the benefits of waste minimization? To keep waste disposal costs down, sabi ko na kanina, keep raw material costs down, comply with legislation, reduce impact of the environment. So last slide natin is yung solid waste management fine. Types of color-coded dustbins are their usage. Sa green dustbin for biodegradable waste and organic waste. Sa blue bin for recyclable materials. Red dustbin, hazardous or biomedical waste. Yellow dustbin for sanitary and medical waste. Black or gray dustbin for general waste, not suitable for recycling. This system helps in proper segregation and disposal. So, yun lang. Thank you.
Good day everyone, my name is Reymart Impuesto, here presenting Deposit-Refund Scheme. So, first we tackle what is Deposit-Refund Scheme. So, these are the system where you pay a small extra amount when buying a product and you get that money back when you return the used item. like example like a plastic bottles like that. So the main goal is to encourage people to return recycled materials instead of throwing them away. So how it works? So the process is simple, very simple. First, when you buy a product, like example in the any kind of sari-sari store, like soft drinks, you pay a deposit for the bottle. And second, after using it, you return the empty container or the bottle, the glass bottle, into the owner, and they will give back the deposit. And finally, yeah, you get their money back. Because people want their money back, they are motivated to return the item instead of littering it. And that's kind of example. We use that also when we are selling Coke, a bottled Coke for the customer. They bring back the bottled Coke. Next. So, what is the objectives of this deposit refund? No? So, the main objective of this system are to reduce pollution. So, why? So, as you can see, many places have so much pollution and so much trash. So, they want it to increase recycling and encourage people to be more responsible with their waste. It also helps government manage waste more efficiently. So you can see here in the bullet. So I just summarize it. So yeah, next. So, example. So here are the example. No? So the main objective of this system are to reduce pollution. So, common example here is plastic bottles. So, glass bottles, aluminum cans. It's in some places, even car batteries are included because they can be harmful if not disposed of properly. So, yeah. So, that is the kind of na we can sell or that have a deposit. So, next. So, what are the advantages? So here, so we have 4 here, and I will just summarize it. So okay, one of the advantages is that it significantly increase recycling rates because people are motivated by the refund. It also reduces litter in public places and helps protect environment. Another benefit is it's simple and easy for people to understand. So even if na hindi mo kalat yung bagay na yon, kung gusto mo ng pera, talagang pwede mong pulutin yan and pwede mong ibigay para magkaroon ka rin ng pera. So yeah, so that is the advantages. So there is also a disadvantages. So what is it? So here, so however, there are also some disadvantages. So it requires proper collection system. That's one, which can costly to set up. So we need to set up it. Some people may find it inconvenient to return items. So yeah, we also experience it as we have a little store here, and that was our business. And some people is tamad magbalik ng na mga bote kasi nga may deposit. Kasi nga binili nila. Minsan tinatabad sila rin talaga sila magbalik. So they may find it inconvenient. So to return items, and there is an added cost when purchasing a product even if it is refundable. So some people is thinking na may dagdag pa. So yun nga, dahil nga tinatamad silang ibalik, yun nga, parang dahil nga ayaw nila ibalik yun, parang sa tingin nila mas napapamahal sila kasi nga binili nila yung item tapos dagdag asikaso pa pag binalik yung bote or yung mga gamit, even though na meron itong may balik sa kanilang pera to kasi ayan, they find it so inconvenient. So yeah, that is the disadvantages. So next is real life application. What is the real life application in here? So real life application that I can give is, in many countries you can return bottles to supermarkets. I forgot the country of it, but you can collect a plastic bottle and put into it to machine, and they will give you money or recycling money for that trash that you put in the machine. I know in the Philippines we have also that kind of machine, but it's not worldwide. It's not worldwide. So it's some particular area that have na meron lang yung part na machine na yon. So yeah. So isa yun sa mga real life application na pwede kong may bahagi. And these places acts as collection points. Yan nga yung mga machines where you can easily get your refund. This system helps reduce waste in landfills and prevents pollution in ocean. So yeah, as the conclusion, Deposit-Refund Scheme are effective and practical way to reduce waste and encourage recycling, even though there are some challenges. The environmental benefits are significant. Yeah, so and that's all. Thank you for listening. Next reporter.
Good morning, everyone. Today, my group is presenting Chapter 5.2 on the Economic Incentives Approach in Environmental Management. So, my part is information programs. So, what are information programs? Unlike strict rules or financial penalties, information programs are soft tools. They work by giving the public, communities, and stakeholders clear data about pollution, emissions, and environmental performance of companies. The main idea is simple. When people know what's happening, they can pressure companies to do better. It makes companies accountable through transparency and public opinion instead of just fines or commands. So, how do they work? First, the companies are required to encourage to report their environmental data, such as how much pollutions or waste they release. Second, the government or NGOs collect and publicly disclose this information. And third, the public data, media, investors, and communities get access to it. And lastly, the public pressures them or encourage them to voluntarily reduce pollution and improve their performance. So it's a cycle that turns information into real environmental improvement. And the next is the types of information programs. So there are several common types of information programs. These include pollution release and transfer registers, or PRTR, which track toxic chemicals, eco-labeling and certification like green seals on products that helps consumers choose better options. And public disclosure programs also helps that the name and shame or rate companies based on their environmental record. And education and awareness campaigns for communities. Also, sustainable reporting, where companies publish their environmental and local performance. And here are real-world examples. So, in the United States, the Toxics Release Inventory, or TRI, has been very successful since 1986. It has led to big voluntary reductions in toxic pollution just by making the data public. Here also in the Philippines, the EcoWatch program publicly discloses industrial pollution ratings, which has improved company compliance through community pressure. We also see eco-labeling schemes like Energy Star and organic labels that guide consumer choices worldwide. Also, recently in the Philippines as well, they are also required publicly listed companies to submit mandatory sustainability disclosures. And for advantages and benefits, what makes information programs so powerful? So first, they are low cost or the government compared to traditional regulations. They also empower communities and consumers to make informed decisions, and they encourage companies to voluntarily reduce pollution because of reputation and market pressure. They work well together with other tools such as deposit refund schemes. And finally, they promote innovation as companies compete to look greener. And for limitations and challenges, so of course, everybody is not perfect. So here are some limitations with information programs. So their success depends on whether people can actually access and understand the information. In areas with low environmental awareness or weak media, the impact is limited. So there's also a risk of greenwashing if companies report inaccurate data. And they also may not be strong enough for urgent or highly toxic pollution problems, and they need good monitoring systems to make sure that the reported data is correct and accurate. So lastly, to wrap up, how does this compare to the deposit refund schemes that Mr. Reymart discussed? All deposit refund uses financial incentives like returning money for bottles. The information programs rely on awareness, reputation, and social pressure. So both are part of the economic incentives approach. The key takeaway is this: information is power. Transparent data drives accountability and real behavioral change. So when combined with other tools like charges, subsidies, and tradable permits, information program helps create a more effective and participatory system for environmental management. So thank you so much. Again, my name is Ace Cabrera.
So, good day everyone. Today, I will discuss tradable emission permits, a strategy used to control pollution. Environmental pollution is a major global issue. Governments use different strategies to control emissions. One effective method is tradable emission permits, also known as cap and trade. For example, instead of forcing all companies to reduce equally, the system allows flexibility. So, what are tradable emission permits? A cap is set on total pollution. Companies receive or buy permits to emit. Each permit allows a specific amount. Companies can trade these permits. For example, if a factory reduces pollution, it can sell extra permits to another factory. Now let's see how it works. The government sets the emission cap, then permits are distributed. Companies must stay within their limit. So if they reduce emission, they can sell extra permits. If they exceed, they must buy permits. Example, a cleaner company earns money, a polluting company pays more. Here are real-world examples. These systems help reduce greenhouse gas emission while allowing businesses to operate. Now let's look at its benefits and limitations. For benefits, it reduces pollution, promotes green technology, and is cost efficient. And its limitation, it will be hard to set the right cap, there is risk of manipulation, and pollution can still concentrate in some areas.
Good day everyone, I am Delos Reyes and I will be discussing the subsidies. Subsidies are one of the tools used in environmental management. Ginagamit ito ng government to encourage friendly environmentally actions and correct market failure. For example, without subsidies, solar panels are expensive, but with subsidies, more people can afford them. So what are subsidies? Subsidies are financial support from the government. They are given to individuals, businesses, or organizations. They reduce the cost of specific activities. So, for example, the government helps pay the part of the cost for installing the solar panels. And actually, subsidies can also come in forms of like grants, loans, or tax reductions. So here are the types of environmental subsidies. These include renewable energy subsidies, energy efficiency incentives, and public transportation subsidies. So, for example, a cheaper bus fares encourage people to use public transport instead of private cars. So, personally, I like the idea of using mass transportation because it reduces the air pollution in the road, and also nababawasan yung trapiko sa kalsada. And how do subsidies work? The government lowers the cost of eco-friendly option. This makes sustainable choices more attractive, and people and business responded to lower prices. This reduces environmental harm. Ang example nito is when electricity from solar panel become cheaper, more households will switch to it. Here are the examples. Examples including solar and panel subsidies, tax credit, and wind energy funding. This lead to increased adaptation of renewable energy. So, for example, tax credits reduce the cost of solar installation, so more homes can use renewable energy. Now, let's look at the impacts. We have positive and negative impacts. Positive impacts included reduced emissions, clean technology growth, and resource conservation. Negative impacts include high cost, inefficient allocation, and possible dependency. One issue is that taxpayers may end up paying for pollution costs. For example, some companies rely too much on subsidies instead of improving efficiency. However, not all subsidies are beneficial. Some um, some subsidies harm the environment, such as fossil fuel support, overfishing, and deforestation-related agriculture. This increase the environmental damage instead of reducing it. For example, subsidizing fossil fuels make them cheaper, so people use more, and it increases the pollution. That's all po for the environmental management